But we have this treasure in earthen vessels. What treasure? What treasure do we have? What is it we possess in here? What is it that pure, unadulterated humility creates in our hearts and lives?
Creates joy in life.
Joy, exactly. Exactly. And where our joy comes from is by knowing Him, who He is in our life. But it's only when we humble ourselves before Him. How many knows that there is coming a reckoning day? One day. And we're all going to stand before God. Whether we have humbled ourselves before the Lord, or whether we have simply submitted to man, for man's philosophies, their ideas, or what someone else thought you should do, or wanted you to do, instead of humbling ourselves under the mighty hand of God. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10 says this. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one may receive the things done in the body, according to what he has done, whether good or bad. One of these days, each one of us will stand before God the Father. And we're all going to be earthen vessels. From the earth, the dust of the earth we were formed. From the dust of the earth we will return. But what counts is what's inside. Whether or not we have truly humbled ourselves under the mighty hand of God. Because when we stand before God and the books are open and He scrolls down the book of life and He can't find my name. And when there's this earthen vessel that I walked around in this earth in is no more, what's inside? And if it's black, because I have simply submitted, I've never humbled myself with pure, unadulterated humility before a holy God. He'll look at me and He'll say, depart from me. I never knew you. The Bible says that everyone that says, Lord, Lord, won't enter the kingdom of heaven. He says, some will say, but Lord, we've cast out devils in your name. We've done these great things. And He'll say, I'm sorry. I never knew you. How important is pure, unadulterated humility in our lives. But if whenever this earthen vessel is destroyed and it's no longer in the blood of Christ has been applied to your life because we have sincerely and honestly humbled ourselves under the hand of God. And we've allowed Him to work in our life. We've allowed Him to take us, to shape us, make us, and mold us into a vessel of honor for Him. And it's not been about us, but it's been about Him. And our lives has been about reaching the lost at any cost because He saved you to serve. And when He sees that the blood has been applied, Jesus Christ the righteous is going to look to His Father and says, this one's with me. And the Father will look back and He'll say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. Now I'll make you ruler over many. Enter thou into the joys of the Lord. How important in our lives is pure, unadulterated humility before God. Not what we deem as humility. Not submission, not half-hearted humility. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, about to face the greatest trial of any man's life, before His passion began, He made His petition and His request known before God. And in the middle of that request, He said, but Father, but nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. The Son of the living God humbled Himself before His Father just before His death. Wow. Wow. How many of us would say, Lord, I don't deserve this. I have done all these great things for you, and I've worked for you all of my life, and I've done this, and you've done this through me. But would we have thought to humble ourselves before Him in our greatest time of need? But He did, as an example for you and me. And had He not have humbled Himself, where would we be today? If we, as children of God, Christians, moms and dads, If we neglect to humble ourselves before God with pure, unadulterated humility, what will our family be? What about our lost loved ones? If we're not willing to humble ourselves before God and allow Him to work in and through us, what will our family be? How important is pure humility in our lives? I appreciate your attention tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about how to build a church with humility. God bless you.